Hello everyone, this is Redesigned for Resilience, transforming your business into a business inspired by nature. I hope you really enjoyed the introductions using natural artifacts and you're starting to get a sense of how changing how you work together and how you communicate can really start setting a different tone, what I'm calling a culture of co-creativity that is so crucial to becoming a business inspired by nature. Okay, so now we're going to look at the identify step. And as you know, identify comes at the beginning. Of course, we can go anywhere in the spiral, but for this activity, it starts at the beginning of the biomimicry design spiral process. In the identify stage, or the identify step of the biomimicry design spiral, you take the business design challenge that you've set out for yourself and you look at it more closely with the goal of getting beyond what it is you want to design to what you want your design to do. That's what we call identifying the real challenge. This may sound really trivial to some of you, but actually it's extremely powerful. If you do nothing else with this whole method than learning how to identify the real challenge, you will likely end up with not only a more innovative design, but also a more sustainable design. Now, when using the method, many people have their first aha moment in the identify stage. And the reason for this is because often when people start out with a design challenge, they ask themselves, what is it we want our design to look like? Or what is it we want to design? We're really focused on the what. And the problem with that is, let's say we're designing a chair. Well, when I say the word chair, a vision pops into your head, right? And I don't know what vision is in your head, but I'm sure it's a chair you've seen before, many different versions of a chair you've seen before. Well, that is what you want to design. But instead, if you say, well, what is it I want my design to do? Suddenly, you're looking at a completely different set of ideas. So is it a chair that you want to provide a place for relaxation, for cushioning? Is it a chair like a dentist chair where it's really crucial you're keeping a person in a certain position? Or a theater chair, you want them to be sitting in a certain direction? Perhaps the chair is merely decorative. You want to put something in the corner, and no one will ever even sit in it. So you start to see that if you think about the functions you want your design, in this case a chair, to perform, you might come up with a whole suite of new design options. So in the identify stage, you identify the functions or what you want your business design to perform. So instead of asking what is it you want your design to look like, you ask what is it we want our design to do. And then you keep relentlessly asking, why do we want our design to do that? And if you keep asking that question, eventually you'll come up with functions. And functions take the form of verbs or verb phrases. So when you're thinking about what you want to design, that's a noun, right? Like a chair. But when you think about functions, it's what you want your design to do, and that's a verb. So to say comfort or to direct, for example, in the chair example. When you're doing this, you also want to consider what else you want your design to do. That will help you explore more broadly and more deeply, identifying what it is that you want your design to do. Clearly, you can see that in the identify step, it's really helpful to get good at asking questions. And so we're going to have you do an activity to help you identify the real challenge by asking better and better questions. So let's look at a quick example. And the example we're going to follow through this whole workshop is that your business challenge is to design a new vacation policy. So you might say, well, what can we possibly learn from nature about designing a new vacation policy? Well, we're about to find out. So in this case, a vacation policy is the what, right? It might be a set of rules, lists, whatever. If we're trying to look at functions, you might come up with functions like, well, we want a vacation policy to maintain worker productivity and well-being. Maybe we want vacation or vacation policy to encourage frequent breaks as needed, instead of having people build up days or weeks or even years of vacation time to turn them all in at one time. Maybe we want vacation to support a culture of fairness and transparency, to adapt or accommodate different needs and wants, to be easy to administer, maybe to reflect our sustainability principles. So you see how each of these words are verbs or verb phrases. So that's what you want your your vacation policy, or in this case, your business design, to do or to be. In the identify step, you also want to identify the conditions in which this design is going to operate, or your operating conditions. So in this case, your company might be in a growth phase, and so you're going to have many new employees, and you're going to have many new different positions. And they may have diverse work conditions. In other words, some might be working from home, some work exclusively at the office, some may be on the road all the time. So you've got diverse work conditions. You also might have a centralized office, so you have one office that everyone, is based out of, even if they have different other diverse work conditions. So you can see an example of how you take what it is you want to design, in this case your vacation policy, and identify functions or what you want your design to do, as well as conditions that you're going to be operating under. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do this step. So you want you to get out your biomimicry design spiral document and turn to the pages that are on identify, and you can read through those and follow how to do it. Now, to facilitate this step, I'm going to have you do this activity that's in the Pine Cones to Productivity book called Inquiring Minds. And the idea here is it helps you learn a new form of inquiry called Socratic inquiry. You may have heard of that before. It's going to help you expose hidden assumptions and embedded concepts that you didn't even know you had. It'll help you break out of what you want to design and asking what is it you want your design to do. Okay, so as you're going through you're identifying your functions, you will practice this Inquiring Minds activity. All right? Okay, if you're ready, go ahead and give it a go. And get out your documents, go through the identify step, and when you're done, next up is translate. All right, good luck.